All right, Fai Chang Ni Hao, everybody, and welcome. As promised, I will tell you about five things I really, really like about living here in Shanghai. So, because I really, really like a lot of things here in Shanghai, China, it was really hard to choose five items, and I will give them to you in no particular order. So, the very first thing that I want to share with you is that I really, really enjoy how convenient it is to pay for everything with WeChat Pay, Alipay, and the other apps that exist. So, nobody really has to leave the house with their wallet. You only need your phone, and you can pay and share bills and split bills just using that app. And it's super convenient. So I go shopping with just my phone. I use WeChat Pay when I want to buy a bubble tea. I use it in Family Mart. I use it when I want to order online. And it's super easy also to pay your taxi driver with this app if you have an app called Didi. I'm sure that there are other apps, but it's super easy to just use your phone for those things, to find your taxi driver and to pay him as well at the end of the drive, so you don't have to deal with cash. And also what's great about that is that the taxi driver cannot rip you off and tell you it's like 100 RMB when it's actually only 50. So this app Didi actually really keeps people honest, and they just have to do their job, and they cannot rip you off just because you're a foreigner. So that is great. Number two on my list is transportation. Here in Shanghai, it's super convenient to use the metro system because the metro system is very, very large and goes almost anywhere, everywhere, and it's ever expanding. They're building new metro stations as we speak, so it's super easy and by far the fastest way to get around town. Sometimes you have to exchange, and then it can take a little longer, and every now and then you have to be careful and know when the very last train is going to be. But other than that, it's super convenient. The time problem is not a problem when you use Mobike. Mobike you can use day, night, evening, morning, afternoon, whenever you want. So Mobike is really great because they're always there. You can take any bike you want. You just scan the QR code on the bike. So Mobikes are amazing because they're always available, and you just scan the QR code on top of the bike, and then basically it unlocks and you go, and you have to just remember to lock it wherever you put it and don't put it in your house. But other than that, there are not many rules that you have to keep into account. Lots of people use Mobikes and Ofo bikes, and they're very, very popular. I really personally enjoy these bikes a lot. Sometimes I even go on bike tours through Shanghai. There's a guy here who organizes bike tours, and it's really cool. Every weekend he goes and drives around town, and it's great to see the city that way, because when you use the subway all the time, you actually have no idea where you're going or what it looks like above ground. So if you go on a Mobike trip, you find out about that, what everything looks like. Hey, baby. Oh, what are you doing? Oh my goodness. Okay. Sometimes at the subway stops, there could be like piles and piles of bikes. And then other times when you really want a Mobike, there can be no bike around, for example, in the evening, and then you have to really search. But usually you can find a Mobike near you. And when you open the app, you can also see on a little map where the nearest Mobike is. The same with the Didi Taxi app. Basically, you can see the little cars. So it's super easy. You know exactly where to go and where you are going as well. You can just keep the app open to see the street names and things like that. Item number three, and that's a big one, is the food here in Shanghai. So I'm saying Shanghai on purpose here and not just China, because the good thing about Shanghai is that there is food from all over China available here. There are so many good restaurants because there is, of course, a lot of competition, so they try really hard, and it's really good to find restaurants from everywhere because I like trying new foods, and this is a perfect place because no matter what region of China you want to try food from, it's all available in Shanghai. Like even even European food and African food and Indian food, New Zealand food. There is lots and lots of food. But for Chinese food, of course, this is definitely the place. And I am really into Sichuan food, although I'm trying to get used to the spiciness. But I'm trying to train myself to eat more and more spicy each time. And I really enjoy like dumpling stuff, of course, and the Shanghai food, although that's really sweet. There are so many restaurants. There's food here for everyone and anyone. If you want to eat just Western food, you can, of course, because there's lots of variety as well. But I recommend you, if you ever come here to Shanghai, try food from all the regions and see the difference, taste the difference, smell the difference, experience the difference. Also, there are so many bubble teas that goes together with the food. Like, honestly, I have this bubble tea fetish and I like trying all the new things. It looks like you're drinking mud.
And
the rice.
I don't know what she ordered.
Healthy stuff. Oh,
Want
really?
to try this?
I don't know.
Try mine if you want.
This is mochi.
Yeah, okay, let's see. Ooh, it
Mochi.
looks like somebody just threw up in a cup.
It does.
They have tea with pudding in it. They have tea with, what is it? Like red bean stuff. They have tea with a foam on top. They call it cheese. It's not really cheese, but it's super tasty. And yeah, I have a bubble tea place around the corner, so I try to limit myself to 1 or 2 a week, but it's difficult because it's just so tempting. So this is that foam stuff. It's really tasty, but it's not really cheese. It's just like cream or something. Yeah. What I also really like about living here, and this is item number 4, because food and bubble tea go together, that this is the variety of people you meet in Shanghai. And I mean, I don't just mean, oh my goodness, this is great because there are Westerners here. No, I mean, there are people from all over China in Shanghai, people from any province who found work here or who studied here and stuck around. Some of them try to get their whole family to live here. This is a very multicultural but also very multi-Chinese place. So there are people from Turkey here. There are people from, I don't know why I just said Turkey, but it's true. India here, from Australia here, New Zealand, Sweden, Canada, Brazil. I met some great Brazilian people. So you can really meet not just only people from your own country, although I realize that some people do that. I'm not going to say any names, but the French, the French people, they hang around with the French people. I don't know why that always happens, but you can even do that if you want, because you can find people from your own country and from whatever country you're looking for. And that's interesting because the exchange of cultures, well, that's a thing that I find really, really important. I always really enjoy places where different cultures come together. I like organizations or atmospheres or gatherings where there are people present from lots of different countries, because I feel like that sort of environment brings out the best in people. You end up sharing the qualities of your culture with each other. You share some like fun like sayings and cuisine and language, and you exchange like mannerisms, and it makes you more open-minded when you're surrounded by people from all over the place, and it makes you careful about what you say, what you do, and it makes you realize just how diverse and great the world is. So I really enjoy that here. Like, I met some great people in Toastmasters from not just China, although, you know, my Toastmasters friends are people from all over China. So they're not all local Chinese people. They're not all local Shanghainese people. And that's what I really, really like. I do believe that multicultural environments bring out the best in people and make you more open-minded. That's why I recommend all my students to study abroad, and that is why I recommend everybody to come to China. Item number 5 kind of ties in with this, to be honest, because what I really like about Shanghai, the city, is that you really, really see a mix of cultures in the city itself. I have seen some vlogs by people who go to Shanghai and then describe what it is like, and they say, or some of them say, oh, it's just like being in the West. It could be any city in the West. But I don't believe that's true. I believe that it is a combination of world, all parts of the world, and China. And I feel the influence of China in Shanghai is very, very strong. But if you are a tourist and you go to Shanghai and you see the Bund and you see East Nanjing Lu and then you have some like Hooters for dinner, yeah, then of course it's not going to feel like you're in China. But if you go outside the city center where the people actually live, you'll find that there are not just Shanghainese people, but people from all over China who live there. And of course they bring their own cuisine and their own kind of habits to their areas. And the area where I live actually feels very, very locally Chinese to me. People play Wayong on the streets, or is it Mayong? Wayong. They play their card games. People walk around, spit around, smoke around. They're really just themselves. And people have their Tai Chi in the park, as I showed you. And people bring their own thing here, and exchange, like, sometimes you hear Cantonese, sometimes you hear Shanghainese, most of the time you hear Mandarin, but it is very evident to me, and I really like seeing it, how people have their own little businesses, how people integrate here, and how it's all a big mix of not just international people, but also a mix of Chinese people trying to make the best of their lives, because Shanghai is the city of opportunity, and it's growing and expanding, and everybody feels busy here and needed here. So I just want to mention this because to me, it doesn't feel like Shanghai could be any city in the West. Sure, if you want the complete Western experience, you can go get that. You can go to like the French concession area and be surrounded with Lawai and yeah, hear English and French all around. There are some areas in the city where there's just French people. I don't know why there are so many of them. Sacre bleu. I went to this club and even the bartender started speaking to me in French, so I was like, excusez-moi, do I look French to you? But I mean, yeah, if you really want to have an experience where you don't have to speak any Chinese or whatever, sure, you can go and do that. But I want to say that Shanghai is very diverse and has lots of influences from not just all over the world, but all over China as well. And there are lots of interesting people here and lots of interesting things to see. Lots of neighborhoods that are not neighborhoods that look like New York or however you want to describe the Bund area. Lots of neighborhoods where people live, the residential areas. They're great to walk around. You can just see people hanging the laundry everywhere, hanging their socks in the trees and their underpants, and cooking and polishing their shoes and selling things and gossiping on street corners. And it's very nice to see just the daily life here and how normal the city is at the same time. It's not all about money and crazy business, although it seems like that if you're in the city center. I mean, that's where lots of big business headquarters are, and they just opened this big new Starbucks, blah, blah, blah. So to me, this city feels like it is definitely China and it is the West all combined, and you can find whatever you're looking for in the different neighborhoods. And it's really nice to have, on the one hand, all of the shops and all of the brands, and you can find anything you want here in Shanghai that you could buy, but you can also really find down-to-earth Chinese people just going about their business in the residential areas, and that can make you feel like, okay, you know what, let's take a deep breath, let's be normal. So I really enjoy that. I really enjoy seeing people gossiping on street corners or the ladies dancing. I really enjoy seeing the people just living their lives without getting all frustrated and stressed out by the busyness of city life. That's what I wanted to say, you guys. 5 things. Next time I will probably talk about Christmas, because Christmas is coming and I don't feel very Christmassy at all. Jingle bells. Mwah. So my next vlog will be about Christmas and how Christmassy, sorry baby, how Christmassy Shanghai is, and I will see you later. Please like, comment and subscribe. I am French and I just go to Le Baron. Ho ho ho.